Hi, my name is Kamal Acharya. This is my presentation on the ERP budget and communications plan. The implementation is happening at BSA Environmental Services, which does algae, zooplankton, and toxicology reports for water samples. And the ERP system that is chosen is Microsoft Business 365. So the project team will consist of the owner, who would be the head of everybody, and three lab leaders, which are ones from the most senior employees from the algae department, the zooplankton department, and toxicology slash data collection. There would be two emergency leaders, one from algae, another one from zooplankton, just in case one of the lab leaders are missing. And then we would also have consultants on the side to help with all the implementation IT stuff. The ERP project requirements are management commitment. Management commitment would be a critical success factor because commitment would be needed so that everything is clear and communication is maintained. And another requirement, and the most important one, would be that the ERP uh, software, which would be Business 365, would be a data hub for the whole company, which means that all sorts of company data must be able to reside within the ERP system to decrease spreadsheet and file redundancies. The result of the risk assessment came down to three factors or three risks, which should be adequate amount of training times, data migration, and delays in implementation. With the training time, there needs to be substantial amount of training time saved so that the employees can get used to all the different parts of the new ERP system. And another risk was data migration. There is a chance of losing older data while you're trying to implement it into a new ERP system, so there needs to be some sort of a backup for the old spreadsheet data that we currently have. And then the final risk would be delays in implementation due to a number of different factors, which could go from employees getting sick or funding not being enough. So the budget will be categorized into three different categories, which would be the necessary items, the unnecessary or the out of the normal, and a contingency fund. So necessary items, which include software, consultants, and like fees that are necessary for the implementation to happen. And then you have unnecessary items or items that are out of the normal. So that could be the stuff that you deem out of control during the implementation phase. Some could examples could include where a lab leader is sick and is out for a prolonged amount of time, which would delay implementation, set back a couple of things. I mean, that's why you have safeguards, but safeguards don't necessarily work all the time as well. So there could like COVID happen. So there could be some COVID spreads around the company. Everybody's out for a week, so that there could be delays. And then you have a contingency fund, which are like emergency funds for unforeseen circumstances. I want to make sure that the differences between unnecessary and the contingency fund established, because I believe that unnecessary items and contingency funds are two separate things, because a contingency fund could be used to, for example, if the cost of implementation due to like software problems, buying new hardware, that should be from like contingency fund. But unnecessary items could be for when an employee is out for a while, something other out of normal happens. So, and finally, we come to the communications plan, which should include emails, weekly meetings, and newsletters being blasted via email. There would always be daily check ins as well, with like just a group check in from lab leaders with different people, individuals in each of their labs. And at BSA, since everybody it's a small lab, consisted of around 17 people in total in the whole company. So it would not be that difficult to do regular check ins and then weekly meetings would help, and emails and newsletters obviously would be a big part of it. Here are my references, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please leave them below.